Hey guys, welcome to Splatoon Saturday, your weekly source for all the latest on Splatoon.
Amiibo!
Good morning everyone, welcome to a special episode, Splatoon Saturday Plus. In this episode, we are extending yesterday's Splatoon Saturday by analyzing the trailer that was given to us, that was gifted to us from on high by Nintendo right after the ARMS Direct, if you were not aware. If you have not seen the previous Splatoon Saturday that was released yesterday, make sure you give that a look. It'll be on the playlist shown at the end of the video, or probably in the sidebar as well. By the way, today's video is going to cover everything about the plaza, the Inkopolis Square, it's called, and all the stuff that was revealed there and what everything may be, whereas tomorrow's video is going to cover stuff about the single-player campaign and, you know, the new weapon and all the stuff to do with that. It's basically the first half of the trailer and the second half of the trailer, because there was so much stuff to write down that it's not all going to fit into one video, not even two videos if you include yesterday's. Alright, without further ado, let's do a scene-by-scene analysis, basically, of this trailer. I've written all my notes down of generally what I thought everything was, and we're just going to go through it and see how that goes. The trailer begins in Inkopolis Square, the new place where all the cool Inklings hang out. The most notable thing is, of course, Krusty Sean's van. We found out that it was Krusty Sean's van previously. He runs a sort of ice cream shop, I think? I don't know. We haven't found any more details on what that's all gonna be about, except something I'll mention a little bit later. There's the Amiibo Scanning thing on the left, and you can see some traffic lights and road crossings that actually cross between pavements, which means that unlike the Inkopolis Plaza, here in Inkopolis Square, there's actually the potential for cars to be driving through. The plaza was all open and all about foot traffic. This has separated pavements and roads, so maybe we'll see more of a presence of cars. For example, Krusty Sean's van, of course. So yesterday I trialed a new form of advertising on my videos, which included turning off monetization. It turns out it's not effective enough, so monetization is back on for Splatoon Saturday episodes in the future, but I'll still be showing these new adverts I created, but as YouTube user Skyvener suggested, I'll be slotting these in much more nicely right after I finish making a point. For example,
did you know Everything Amiibo streams daily on Twitch?
next we see a cafe-looking shop. We could be totally wrong about this one, and it's maybe like a shoe shop or something was our next guess. But if it is a cafe, that's yet another food shop, and later on we do see a definite cafe over to the right back of the square. But my point is, if food is much more of a present element in this square, then maybe it actually does something. Maybe you can actually acquire food, and maybe there is a bonus stat effect to it, like in Monster Hunter, for example. Clearly you can tell I've been playing too much Monster Hunter. I just streamed it for like 3 hours. There's an advert running on an electronic billboard for the white squids that were featured in a recent Splatoon Saturday. It's just a clothing brand. We don't know if white ink is a thing or not. That is discussed in the previous Splatoon Saturday. But underneath that is a massive hat store. It could indeed be the clothing store, because we haven't seen any other stores that are specifically, you know, hats, trousers, or shoes. So all we've seen is hats outside, so we know this store definitely sells hats, but we're also suspecting that this could be the clothes superstore. The final shop on the left has a Nintendo logo on top, believe it or not. Obviously it's a little bit squid sized, but you can tell this is a cameo for Nintendo. Probably doesn't mean anything important at all. Underneath is clearly Sheldon's new shop with his logo and army style. It's definitely confirmed at this point. There's weapons lying around the room, some under a desk and over and around about it, and some suspicious black and white pictures on the wall, probably from his great-grandfather or whoever he talks about who's in the war. This shop looks more like a workshop than a shop, really, and we went back to the original Sheldon shop in Splatoon 1, and it's much tidier and much more like everything's on display and ready to be sold. This looks a lot more like he's working on some some brand new weapons or repairing or customizing weapons, which leads me on to the slight little theory that you may be able to customize your weapons in Splatoon 2, specifically by going to Sheldon's shop. In between this shop and the one before, there's a very striking red post box. The only thing we can really come up with is that it functions like the post box in Splatoon 1, where you voted for which option in the Splatfest you preferred. But of course there were two holes in that post box representing the two different sides you could have in Splatfest, and in my opinion, I know this is weak evidence, but in my opinion this confirms that we're not going to have Splatfests, but of course we're going to have some sort of content. In fact, they already confirmed that, but the fact that there's only one hole here, we're not going to have this, you know, one side versus another side. We also know that Callie and Marie are broken up, so this whole Callie versus Marie thing can't happen anymore. I think there's going to be seasonal events, but it's going to take an entirely different form than Splatfests. Although I love them, it's time for a change. If we shift all the way over to the right, there's a massive symbol representing an arcade. We know it's an arcade for sure at this point because there's a crane game followed by a Dance Dance Revolution game, and in previous screenshots you can see right in, and it's all about arcade stuff. Now, I was wondering for so long what this could be, and we just could not decide on anything that was, you know, of such importance that it required this massive sign, because that sign is massive. It is bigger than the sign for multiplayer battles at the front, like the online battles sign. So it must be a big deal. And we figured maybe it's arcade mode. I know, this sounds ridiculous. No, but bear with me here. It's in an arcade, but maybe that's just a bit of a pun where you don't go in and play arcade games, but instead it's the portal to an arcade mode of sorts, which in online shooters and stuff means more fun modes, kind of party or interesting modes that they add new ones to and stuff. The best example is like the Overwatch arcade, but yeah, so it could be a mode where you go in there and you get all these weird sorts of things, like of course 1v1 in local, balloon battle. Please don't bring that back, Nintendo. Please forget I said that. And then just all these weird modes they could think of, like maybe Squid hide and seek that Skullshirticle and Fishy Fisher do. Maybe they'll make that an official mode. So maybe that's what that is, arcade mode, because I can't imagine such a giant sign being devoted to some crappy Squid minigames. Can you? Like, that seems weird to me. So if you guys have any ideas as to what could be in that room when you step in there, then let me know.
Check out our Teespring store. You can buy Splatoon and everything Amiibo themed merch to support the channel and style.
Still on the right, if we head even further back, we'll see a cafe in front of which Spike's biggest fan, Merch, sits and does basically what Spike does, except better. Anyway, that's not new information, but behind him in the cafe we see what looks like Spike's head. This appeared before, but was dismissed, namely by GameXplain, as another sea urchin, but I think it was a screenshot. Anyway, we got an actual video of this, and as you go down, if you take a look, it moves. For a second, I was thinking Spike was dead, and that was maybe his, you know, a memento of his existence, but no, it moves around. It's freaky. It's freaking me out. We thought about this for a really long time, and we just couldn't, it just didn't sit right with me to say it's just another sea urchin, because the two sea urchins we know, Spike and Merch, both have giant orange bodies sticking out of their sea urchin looking head, basically. You know, these sea urchin creatures are humanoid. But then it occurred to me, there's one other creature that's humanoid that looks nothing like their actual equivalent. The squids! But they're kids, and they're squids, and they transform between them. So, maybe sea urchins can transform between being sea urchins and humanoid sea urchins, just like squids can. Okay, I know I know it doesn't really make a difference to anything, but like, so maybe that's Spike in his squid form, if you will. Squid versus kid. So he's normally in his kid form on the streets, and right now he's in his squid form just walking along in his cafe or in this random cafe for whatever reason. If that's the case, is Spike hiding, or does he just go in and out of this form in the background when he feels like it and he's not really a main character anymore? Or do you guys disagree and that's definitely not Spike? But I mean, come on, the hair looks exactly like Spike's. There's got to be a connection. Alright, just a couple more points and then we're done. The online multiplayer section is shown in better detail, but there's nothing new here. It's just showing off masks we've already seen. And of course, there's the Salmon Run area. We do see that you can go over to the reward desk by heading very far left. We've seen this reward desk before, but it's nice to get it placed in the plaza. There's also a difference between this Salmon Run area and when it was shown before. There are these suspicious lanterns that are shaped like salmon and colored green and pink. They're probably not for anything. They probably just added them as decoration as they were fleshing out what Inkopolis Square is actually going to look like. But hey, it's new. Oh, and of course, it looks like it's closed off. Probably because you don't unlock it straight away. You probably have to do some stuff with Marie that gives you a little bit of a backstory on what the heck Salmon Run is all about, and then you get to go try that. Or maybe it unlocks when you step up to it. Lastly, we get a look at the single-player hub world. It looks like Marie lives and sleeps in this tent. There's a bed, a morning paper, food, lights, and water or soup or something in this canteen. Looks like she really did give it all up just to find her cousin Callie. What a girl. Alright, that's all the details that I spotted about the Inkopolis Plaza in this Splatoon 2 single-player trailer. Check back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. BST for the next part, Splatoon Saturday ++, where I'll be going over all of the details revealed about the actual single-player campaign. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, and of course subscribe to Everything Amiibo for more Splatoon Saturday and for more Nintendo toys and games. I'll see you guys yet again tomorrow.